Hi YouTube, as you can see I have a deck box that I got from a Dragon's Exalted pre-release that I went to this weekend. And I thought it would be fun to show you guys the stuff I got at the pre-release and talk a little bit about my experiences at the first pre-release I've ever gone to for the Pokemon trading card game. So first I'll go through the deck that I actually used during the tournament. I was in the Masters division, and there were 5 rounds, and I actually went 5-0 and won the entire tournament. So I'll show you the deck that won me all 5 of those matches. Probably the best card that I pulled during the whole pre-release is this Full Art Terrakion EX. I did only get to use it during 2 of the matches, because in 2 of the other matches it was prized, and in another match it ended up on the bottom of my deck, so I didn't actually get to use it. But the 2 matches that I did get to use it, it basically won me the game. One of the matches was my second match, and my opponent was using Steel and Normal type Pokemon, like Audino, which was actually pretty good for the pre-release. But Terrakion, being fighting, kind of ripped him to shreds. And also, the Pump-Up Smash, the second attack, allows you to attach 2 basic energy cards to a Pokemon on your bench, which in a pre-release like this, where you don't have much draw support or anything, that is really nice to get energy acceleration. So this Terrakion was really cool. Next up, I've got an Emolga that ended up in my deck. The Call for Family attack is really good. It allows you to search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. So I use that to search for a Terrakion and other good Pokemon like Audino, or basics for evolutions that I had in my hand. And it also has free retreat, so you could stick it out there at the beginning of the game, and you could use Call for Family and then pull it back the next turn. So that was incredibly useful, and I'm glad I pulled it in the 6 packs I had to deal with. This Rescue Scarf was also a nice card. I don't think I actually really used it much, but the idea was that I'd attach it to the Terrakion, and if they happened to knock out the Terrakion, he'd just be coming right back at them. Yeah. I actually got 2 more hollows during my pulls too. This Wailord didn't really come in handy except to stall for time. Its first attack is probably the most interesting. However, it's flippy, and I flipped 3 tails, and it didn't get to do any damage before it died. My opponent was cringing for every flip, but he came out okay on terms of the Wailord, but Audinos and Socks kind of took him out. My other hollow is good to have, but I never used it during the actual games, just because this deck's really not a dragon deck at all. But it found its way in mostly just to fill up space in case I did need to use it. I also have 2 of these special blend energies, which are really nice. It also fit really well with my deck. Because they're part steel, I could use that Altaria if I really needed to, but I didn't ever need to. I never got to use this card, the Tool Scrapper. It allows you to remove 2 Pokemon tools, which is nice, because really the only trainers that were there were Pokemon tools. But I didn't really see people using those much, so it didn't do much. I also had a Swablu for that Altaria line. There was a better Swablu that could put opponents to sleep, but I didn't get it. This was the only Swablu I got, so it made it in there because of the Altaria. Next I have 2 Magmars and a Magmortar. And this Magmortar actually was really useful. For 1 fire you could deal 40 damage. And on your opponent's next turn, all damage is reduced by 20. And Flamethrower was also good because it had 2 colorless cost and a fire, which was pretty easy to set up, especially if you had set up the Magmar at all. So these were really useful too. My opponent was actually trying to set one up in the final match too, but I managed to kill it with the Terrakion before it got too dangerous. I have a Wailmer that was there to evolve into the Wailord I showed you. It was pretty nice too. It could wall with 100 HP. In my first match, someone, actually this was all they were able to send out, and their lullabies kept failing. So they really didn't stand much of a chance, unfortunately for them. But it was nice in my deck. Next I have some Weasels and a Floatzel. In one of my games I actually was forced to start with a lone Weasel, and its Wave Splash is kind of pathetic. But I managed to get some other stuff out before the match was over and pulled myself through. Next up are these two Audino. These were actually really useful. Not so much for the first attack, but the second attack you could slap into any deck that you wanted to. And while doing 60 damage, which was pretty high for the pre-release, you were also healing damage off yourself. So those came in really handy. And finally, in terms of non-energies in my deck, I had two Sock. And these were also really cool because you could send them out as a nice starter at least. And you could switch to a different Pokemon if you got one on your turn. And if you were out there in the first place and had gotten damage, you would be healing damage off too. And Karate Chop wasn't too bad. It's not playable in anything besides a pre-release. But when there's lots of Audinos running around, Karate Chop does a lot of damage to them. And in terms of energy, I think I had 5 fire energies for the Magmars and Magmortars. And then I had 7 fighting energy for the Terrakion and Sock. And then I had 8 water energy in theory, so I could pump up the Wailord's attack and do a lot of damage there. It's too bad that never really went anywhere. We also got a pretty nifty promo card for participating in the pre-release, and that's this holographic Altaria card. And this is pretty nice in the Fluffy Chomp archetype that's coming out now, that has this Altaria to increase the attacks power that dragon types have. And then there's a Gabite that also allows you to search every turn for Dragon-type Pokemon. So that allows you to get these out more, and allows you to get the Garchomps out to deal lots of damage really quickly. In terms of cards that I didn't select for my deck, I got this Nose Pass, Baltoys, Roggenrola. I had a reverse Baldor, which, if I had a Gigalith, I probably would have put it in there. An Aron, Durant, Dino, the bad Gabite without the ability, a different Dino, a Zweilous, a Yanma reverse and a normal Yanma, a couple of Hoppips, a couple of Fungus, one reverse, Silcoon, Roselia, Rufflet, which also has a searching attack, but the Emolga is simply far better. Vigoroth, Bidoof, Minccino, a couple Electrike, Mareep. I got a reverse Ninetales, which would have been nice if I had any Vulpix. Skuntank I couldn't use, Houndour, a couple Trubbish, a reverse Golurk, which would have been awesome, but I had no Golett at the time. Gothita, 2 Magikarp, which at 30 HP were just begging to die. Spheal, and a Walrein, but no Celio. Seismitoad, a Palpitoad, and then a reverse Seismitoad. So, those I didn't really feel had a place in the deck. I liked the other cards a lot more. But, so yeah, to summarize my battles, the first one was against someone who all they could send out was that Wailord, and I just kind of wailed away at them until the Whalemur finally died, and I took the only one prize I needed. In my second match, I actually got the Tracheon out with the Emolga's Call for Family, and that ripped through his normal and steel type team. And then in the third match, I think that's the one I had the slow start with the Buizel, and I think my Terrakion was prized. But with some Sock and Audinos, I was able to pull through, and that's the one where the Wailord didn't do anything. My fourth match I don't really remember very well, but I think that's the one where the Terrakion ended up on the bottom of my deck, and that was also a relatively close one. And then the final match, the fifth match, I went up a guy who was using Magmars and Roselias, and partway through the match I got an Emolga, and I used that to find the Terrakion. And after I got the Terrakion up and going, he almost killed it. He had some move where he could flip until he got tails, and he would need to get 5 heads to knock out the Terrakion, and even so I had something else prepared thanks to Terrakion's energy acceleration. So I won that match as well. So after the matches we got 2 more booster packs. Everyone got 2 more booster packs for participating, and I'll show you guys what I got there. I got a holographic version of the Golurk, so I have 2 Golurks now. I got this reverse holo Tool Scrapper. I got 2 more blend energy of the same type. One of them's reverse holo, so that's pretty cool. I have a full playset of those now. Another Durant, another Audino, a Drifloon, another Buizel. Finally, a Golett, Murkrow, Bidoof. I think someone actually used a Bidoof against me, and in a last-ditch effort, they confused both my Terrakion and the Bidoof. But I flipped heads and hit them anyway. Another Buizel, a Wurmple, an Incada. I heard some people were trying to use Dig, but the only time I saw it, the Dig failed, and it died immediately. A Gibble, another Roselia, a Throw, which I think probably would have been nice, but I don't know how that would have changed the outcome. So, there you go. An Ability Gabite, which was pretty sought after. A Skiploom, and my last rare was an Alomomola, which was kind of underwhelming. But what can you do? I got a full art Terrakion. So, that was pretty cool. Anyways, pre-releases are pretty awesome. And I think I didn't do too bad for my first pre-release. And I'll definitely be going to the pre-release for whatever the next set is in October or November, whenever that's going to happen. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.